also got to say, and I'm kind of stealing my thunder from a friend of mine who you would know, but I'm not going to mention, who really said this, but I totally agree with it. Whether you're right or wrong, I think you're mostly right about this issue, especially the vaccine issue. The guts and the integrity to take that stand and stick and by your guns when media, you lose the New York Times, family, that to me is a pair of balls.
I am back. Rudrance for Black and White Network. If you're new to the channel, punch subscribe, like, comment, share. Welcome in the Spotify video audience, along with the audio audience across podcasting. So we're going to talk about one of my favorite comedians. Guys, I know he's a lefty. I get it. But I still find Bill Maher funny, and there was a time when that was okay. Got a complete blind spot for Trump. I get that. Doesn't change my vote for Trump. Not in the least. He is definitely what you would consider a more classic liberal. He has come out. Bill Maher has been speaking out against the wokes for as long as I can remember. He was one of the first, and we're talking years ago, because he could see that there was an attack that was forming on comedians and the ability to say things during comedy routines that you're supposed to be able to say without being punished. He also believes it's bullshit that there's such a racial component to everything these days. And we know he's been very critical of things like the COVID policies. Very critical. All right. Vaccines, et cetera, et cetera. In fact, his last stand-up he did in Florida. He said it was half conservatives that showed up. And he said they were very nice folks. And he has made a point to say that he believes the Democratic Party has got to quit attacking what they call MAGA Republicans. He thinks it's a bad look. I mean, I agree with that. I think it's supposedly for the party that wants to come together. Why would you do that? So let's enter in Robert F. Kennedy, of course. Robert Kennedy Jr. is running for president in the Democratic Party. Now, I'm going to be the first to say, I don't know if Robert Kennedy Jr. is in denial, but at the very least, he probably should be running as an independent. Why? Because Democrats hate him, and for whatever reason, they want that decrepit old clown to still continue to saunter his way onto a stage. I'm talking about Joe Biden. I mean, he shouldn't be trusted with the country or anything else, whether it's his blatant downfall on age or how about what's going on with his son. How about that? So, and of course, now RFK Jr. he's the enemy of the Democrats. They can't stand him. He's what you would refer to as a classic liberal. Aaron Rodgers, too. Joe Rogan, too. So, and Rogan's already come out and said, shit, he's voting Republican. I mean, I think Bill Maher, in all honesty, is in denial. He's got no real place over there in that party anymore. They hate him. Saturday mornings, after he does his show real time, he is under attack, and it's by the leftists that he is under attack from. Wake up. They don't want you anymore, Bill Maher. They left you behind. They've left Robert F. Kennedy behind. They left Joe Rogan behind. Anyway, they left a lot of Democratic voters behind. That's why they're gone and they're voting for Trump now. We just talked about this on a live stream the other day, exactly how many people actually voted for Obama that are now Trump supporters. That is a thing. And it's a huge thing, and it's a big thing. I'm going to tell you, I know a lot of those people. Yeah. Let's get to this because Bill Maher slams the media for their blatant bias against RFK Jr. Now, look, before we just jump into that, let's take a moment to celebrate. As a guy that works out, he's 69 years old, folks. This is impressive, and I don't give a rip whether the SLB is taking testosterone or not. You know what? Most males in the gym are now. Just to be real, I'm not as of yet, but Joe Rogan admitted he's taken it every week, I believe, since he was like 37. It's common now. I mean, the fact is your testosterone falls off as you age.
Let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so, I mean, that's him doing push-ups. The left attacked him over doing push-ups. By the way, those are called constant state or constant tension push-ups. No, they're not the elbow lockout push-ups. For crying out loud, I'm trying to break down push-ups. But hell, I've trained people, and just to see how you can get attacked over something so stupid. I mean, he just proven, look, I'm 69 years old. Your president can't walk across the stage without tripping over nothing. I mean, come on. He's trying to make a point, and the point is well received. It's accepted. Blaze News. Bill Maher raged against the Democratic establishment and its allies in the liberal media Sunday for ongoing efforts to assassinate the character of presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr., from whom President Joe Biden is unwilling to debate. Quote, I want to take issue with the media because it incenses me how they write about you, Maher told Kennedy on the Sunday episode of his Club Random podcast. It's a very good podcast. Kid Rock was on there maybe 8 weeks ago. The comedian zeroed in on a recent New York Times article entitled, Robert Kennedy Jr. with Musk pushes right-wing ideas and misinformation. The New York Times. What a joke. Stressing it had been presented as news contra opinion despite amounting to a hodgepodge of subjective claims and skewed characterizations. Quote, right away, I'm pissed off because misinformation? Question mark. How about you're the newspaper? Just tell me what he said and I'll decide what misinformation is. That's a fact. I mean, now there's all this opinion that is thrown in to what's supposed to have been just media sources. We know that. This is arrogance of we know what the misinformation is about science. Whose misinformation? Because I seem to remember washing the mail for 3 days for about 6 months before they said, oh, we got that wrong. Talking about COVID being transmitted on the mail. Does anybody remember that? That was one of the narratives out there. COVID is attached to your mail. Be careful when you open it. Said Maher, alluding to junk science that was peddled by the Times at the outset of the pandemic. Maher then quoted a portion of the following from the Times piece. Quote, Mr. Kennedy, 69, is a longtime amplifier and propagator of baseless theories beginning nearly 2 decades ago with his skepticism about the result of the 2004 presidential election, as well as common childhood vaccines. His audience for such misinformation ballooned during the coronavirus pandemic. Quote, this pisses me off, repeated the comedian. After casting doubt on various assertions made in the article, Maher explained that it had been worth it taking a closer look at the hit piece because, quote, they deserve richly to be mocked for that attitude. I just do not like the attitude, adding, fuck them. Bill Maher is not going to hold back, whether I agree with him or not. I do have to give him credit for that. Certain that JFK Jr. will continue to be being misrepresented in the media, especially because the presidential candidate's views are relatively complex and not always easily reduced to sound bites. Maher stressed the need for Kennedy to publicly clarify his views in the benefit of prospective voters, possibly in a debate. Quote, who do you think I'm going to debate? Kennedy asked Maher. Well, if you're in the Democratic primary, you're going to debate Joe Biden, answered Maher. The seasoned lawyer did not appear convinced, responding, you think Joe Biden will ever debate me? Question mark. A defeated Maher said, yeah, that's a good point. Even Bill Maher knows Joe Biden's not stepping in the ring with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He's not going to do it. They're going to hide him, and the media is going to defend him. Something that should be noted, the last time he tried this, I'm going to try to win an election from the basement shit, COVID was a thing. It's not anymore. And most people have pretty much embraced the fact Trump would have destroyed Joe Biden without COVID, without the Chinese Wuhan virus, and all of the little things that were done in various states. Oh, because people were scared to catch the coronavirus. Think about it. Kennedy challenged Biden to a debate in April, writing, quote, I have known and liked Joe Biden for many years, but we differ profoundly on fundamental issues such as corporate influence in government, censorship, civil liberties, poverty, corruption, and war policy, among others. I look forward to engaging him in debates and town hall meetings in a primary election that is honest, civil, and transparent. And I invite him into a new era of respectful dialogue in these times of division. But let's be real, RFK Jr. knows Biden's not stepping into the ring with him. He will get abolished. They are going to try to shield and shelter Joe Biden. I mean, RFK Jr., it's him and Trump now as the two most hated men in all of politics, I believe. Far as actual politicians involved in anything meaningful in an election. I mean, they flat label. I mean, I've seen it on Twitter. They're attacking RFK Jr. everywhere. I don't know. I've heard a lot of people say lately that they believe that he is going to have to run as an independent. I don't know how I feel about that because that could very well split some votes, and we don't know where that's going to go because I still believe Trump is the guy for the job. But it certainly makes things a lot more interesting. I mean, the guy walked in the door with 20% support on the Democratic side. There are actual polls out there that show he's got about 20% of the Republican vote right now. General election polls that show him at around 40%. Talking about RFK Jr. I don't know how accurate those are. By and large, I think most polls are shit. But the guy is challenging the establishment, and I like that. I just think, to be honest, I think he's smart in one way. He knows he cannot win on the Republican ticket. I doubt he could ever win as an independent. It's hard when the media tries to rig the game, isn't it? I give Bill Maher credit for just coming out and saying it. You know, I mean, New York Times, really? Stop it. Stop it. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.